Something about this trade feels wrong, doesn't it? One moment, Luka Doncic is hailed as the future of the Dallas Mavericks, and possibly the NBA's next all-time legend. The next, he's suiting up for the Los Angeles Lakers. Sports fans around the world woke up to a single tweet that might be the strangest mid-season bombshell in years. A transaction nobody foresaw, no rumors attached, no buildup of headlines. Just a sudden, sweeping announcement that left analysts stammering and fans hitting the replay button on their newsfeed, certain they'd misread. But what if there's more to this than a typical star leaves small market for LA scenario? On the surface, you'd assume Dallas wants to rebuild, or maybe they're worried about Luka's long-term health and conditioning. Some fans might chalk it up to hidden friction behind the scenes. Yet, the deeper you look, the more holes you uncover. Everyone connected to the trade seemed as stunned as the public, including head coaches, star players, and even front office executives. It's as if an invisible hand swooped in to rewrite the script overnight. By the end of this story, you may find that simple basketball logic doesn't explain any of it, and the real reasons might be far bigger than anyone realizes. Before diving into the madness, let's recap exactly why the world gasped when Luka Doncic's trade details leaked. At just 25 years old, he's already an unstoppable force. His career-scoring average rivals some of the greatest players in history, and his all-around game, distributing, rebounding, clutch shooting, places him at the pinnacle of young superstars. Critics touted him as a once-in-a-generation phenomenon who could plausibly challenge records for points, assists, or both. His background is every bit as illustrious as his NBA run. He conquered European basketball before he could legally toast with champagne, racking up MVPs and championships like a kid playing on rookie mode in a video game. When the Mavericks drafted him, many believed it was the second coming of Dirk Nowitzki in Dallas, another European sensation set to spend his entire career with the Mavs. Fans saw parallels between Dirk's loyalty and Luka's own commitment, convinced he would anchor Dallas for the next decade or more. Through 5 consecutive All-NBA first-team selections, a deep playoff run culminating in a finals appearance, and jaw-dropping 70-point explosions against rival teams, Luka proved that untouchable wasn't just a descriptor. It felt like a contractual clause. No sane general manager would consider shipping out a 25-year-old megastar unless forced by unimaginable circumstances. The shock is that no such circumstances ever arose. Luka seemed happy, the front office was supposedly building around him, and Dallas had achieved postseason success faster than most franchises could dream. So how on earth did he end up in purple and gold? Trades in the NBA typically follow a predictable pattern. A rumor leaks. A star player's agent drops cryptic hints on social media. Team executives speak in vague half-truths, negotiating through the press. Sports talk shows churn out endless mock deals, evaluating who has the best packages of draft picks, young talent, or salary relief. By the time the trade happens, it's a matter of where there's smoke, there's fire. Everyone sees it coming from a mile away. None of that happened here. One minute, it was a normal weekend. The next, phones buzzed nationwide with the same staggering update. Luka Doncic was heading west to team up with Kyrie Irving on the Lakers, while Dallas would receive Anthony Davis and a single first-round pick, plus a few throw-ins. That's it. Of all the teams that would have fallen over themselves to land Luka, teams with deeper pockets of draft capital and younger prospects, Dallas allegedly picked exactly one phone call to answer, the one from Rob Pelinka in Los Angeles. Fans scrambled for confirmation, sure it was fake news or a hacked account. Major sports networks were in disbelief. Even the Lakers faithful were so skeptical, some had to recheck half a dozen times before believing their team had actually landed the league's most prized star. Meanwhile, in Dallas, a wave of heartbreak flooded social media. A meltdown so visceral you could feel it in every tweet. Rarely does an NBA trade break the spirit of an entire fan base overnight, but this one came alarmingly close. Superstar trades follow certain well-worn storylines. The star demands a trade. Perhaps they're disillusioned with the front office or want a stronger chance at a championship. They leverage their status to force a move. Jimmy Butler leaving Minnesota, Anthony Davis leaving New Orleans, James Harden leaving Houston. Contract year chaos. When a player is nearing free agency, front offices worry about losing them for nothing. They act preemptively, shipping out the star for picks and prospects, as we saw with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. Long-term teardown. Sometimes a team looks at their roster and decides it can't compete for a title, so they trade their star while his market value is high, hoping to jumpstart a rebuild. Damian Lillard and Bradley Beal are the most recent examples of that approach. For Luka, none of these reasons apply. He never voiced dissatisfaction, never hinted at leaving, and his contract situation wasn't urgent. Most insiders believed he'd be a Dallas Maverick for a lifetime, perhaps chasing records and building a legacy to rival Dirk or Tim Duncan's single-franchise heroics. Dallas was nowhere near a teardown. They'd just made an NBA Finals appearance. They weren't a struggling small-market team seeking to jettison a disgruntled star. The standard trade logic collapses under the weight of this reality. That begs a deeper question. If the usual reasons don't apply, then why on earth did this happen? The more you examine the circumstances, the more they hint at motives beyond the usual basketball calculus. Over the past few years, the NBA has faced numerous challenges. Some critics say the product has lost its spark, with TV ratings lagging behind the juggernaut that is the NFL. You have legendary figures like Shaquille O'Neal and Charles Barkley openly lamenting the league's direction. Adam Silver, in response, has tried creative fixes, tweaking rules, floating expansion ideas, even speculating about bringing major European teams into the NBA orbit. Enter the Los Angeles Lakers. No NBA franchise commands the same level of global recognition. The league has long benefited from stars wearing purple and gold. Wilt, Magic, Kareem, Shaq, Kobe, and LeBron. Whenever the Lakers excel, you can practically feel the NBA's marketing machine roaring to life. With LeBron James nearing the end of his career, some believe the league desperately needs a new face. Many pin that title on Luka, but for it to generate maximum hype, he'd ideally be on a marquee stage like Los Angeles, not in a smaller market like Dallas. Then there's the matter of Dallas ownership. Mark Cuban, once the outspoken, larger-than-life majority owner who swore he'd never trade Luka for anything, sold the controlling stake of his beloved franchise last year. He remains a minority owner, but the actual power now rests in the hands of the Adelson family, a name deeply connected to Las Vegas casinos and rumored to have a strong interest in moving the team someday. If the ultimate plan is to relocate or restructure, trading away your superstar might be part of an elaborate scheme to reshape the franchise's identity. But this line of thinking begs an even wilder question. Could top brass within the NBA have quietly orchestrated the deal to secure Luka Doncic's presence in Hollywood? All we know for sure is that in an era where every rumor is usually sniffed out and dissected weeks in advance, this bombshell arrived without warning. None of the typical signals were there, yet it still happened. If this was just about basketball, the logic doesn't add up. If it's about something bigger, business, marketing, global expansion, or a hidden agenda, then maybe we're witnessing a new chapter in how the NBA truly operates. What do you think? Is there a rational, hoops-based explanation for Luka Doncic switching jerseys mid-season in one of the most lopsided trades imaginable? Or is this the latest sign that the NBA's behind-the-scenes machinations matter more than the on-court action we love? One day we might get answers. For now, the best we can do is watch and see how this new era unfolds, and keep our eyes open for the next sudden twist that makes us question whether we're still just talking about a game.